Welcome to the Last Great Conflict series presented by 144,000 teachers, a school preparing intelligent, educated survivors. As we enter now into day number 4, we continue with the study of the biblical calendar and the keys 1 to 9. Now we are at key number 3.
Key number 3, the biblical calendar and Christ's crucifixion. Key number 3 was researched and produced by 144,000teachers.org. For seminars, conferences, and enrollment, please contact us at 144,000teachers@gmail.com. For further studies, visit our website at 144,000teachers.org. The biblical calendar and the crucifixion timeline. Every fact connected with the crucifixion of Christ may be verified without a doubt to prove the validity of the lunisolar barley harvest calendation. The biblical calendar and the agricultural season in Exodus chapter 9. The biblical agricultural season is found in Exodus chapter 9 verses 31 and 32. And the flax and the barley was smitten, for the barley was in the year, and the flax was bold. But the wheat and the rye were not smitten, for they were not grown up. The biblical calendar and the agricultural season in Exodus chapter 9. The agricultural season was the spring. At the time of the 7th plague, the flax and the barley were smitten because both were grown up. Barley is ready in Egypt and Palestine in the spring. The biblical calendar and the month of the year in Exodus chapter 12. The biblical month of the year is the first month according to Exodus chapter 12 verse 2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you.
We will continue to study this important research and discovery regarding the biblical calendar. Why do we use a Roman calendar? Continuing with synchronism and chronology, and we look now into history in order to answer these questions.
Breaking the Code, Time and Seasons, Part 4. Why do we still use a Roman calendar today? Introduction to Part 4. Question. Who declared in history that calendar changes do not affect the day? Answer. Pope Gregory XIII in 1582 is one of them. This study on the Roman calendar is taken from online Wikipedia unless otherwise shown. The Roman calendar changed its form several times between the founding of Rome and the fall of the Roman Empire. Although called the Roman calendar in 753 BC, the calendar used after 46 BC was named the Julian calendar. The common calendar widely used today and known as the Gregorian calendar, ordered by Pope Gregory XIII in 1582, is a refinement of the Julian calendar, where the length of the year has been adjusted from 365.25 days to 365.2425 days, a 0.002% change.
Again, we will continue with these discoveries as well because they are very important historical facts. As we enter now the section for the prophecy, continuing with Daniel chapter 8, the ram and the goat, part 2, and we have the PDF section this time to show you as to what we will bring you into. And this is the application of Matthew 24. All these are the beginning of sorrows. When it talks about wars and rumors of wars, this is where the Lord wants us to understand where we are today. And a storm is coming, relentless in its fury, This was actually declared in 1904, and it followed right after that, 10 years later, with the First World War. And we spare you the reading right now, as we will be looking into it further in the video that we present for that particular study. But we know too that the storm has come, relentless in its fury, with a new world order behind it. And it was in 1990 when President Bush, the president of the United States at the time, declared, according to the Desert Storm war that they had, that the Gulf War was put this new world to its first test. And it was declaring then the United States as being the one that is capable of unifying people in a new world order. The last Babel, new world order doomed to fail. And we know that because the first one failed as well. Babel means confusion. From Babel to the United Nations to the European Union. Illuminati, capitalism, communism, revolution, 1776 to today. What we have done here is a chart showing the events of the world that has happened from the east to the west side, and involving wars and rumors of wars, like Jesus says in Matthew 24. And we have basically compiled from the scripture, from prophecy, and from the east side of the world and the west side of the world, what has happened for centuries. And now it has repeated itself over and over and over. First, you start with the World War I, World War II, and we also come to present a World War III scenario, which has not happened yet, of course. But we want you to understand that we have nothing to fear for the future, except as we shall forget the way the Lord has led us and His teaching in our past history. So these are facts of history that have been put together, and basically they are explained as we present this important session on Daniel chapter 8 of the Ram and the Goat. The next section is having to do with the fourth decree. And we know that you will appreciate this because this is also showing the truth for today. And so we want to introduce you to the fourth decree and how the restoration of the Creator's worship using the rules of universal laws illustrated through the rules of scientific evidence and precedent. So this is basically the basis of true education, and it's applied in the world, but people do not quite understand where they have obtained such a great knowledge, and sometimes it's abused as well. So now, restoring the Creator's worship based on rules of evidence, the table of contents, and we are actually talking about evidence, real evidence. We have gathered 10 of them in this case here, which we will spare you the reading right now because this will be presented in that important video, which started in day number 3. And now we wanted to show you this precisely, what is happening. And we have definitely also the quote that we heard from the key is very clear in key number 3 that the facts connected with the crucifixion must be verified without a doubt because they do actually demonstrate, illustrate the beautiful biblical calendar. And all the other evidence that we are bringing here are developed through that study in this particular fourth decree. Very large study. And we know that there is more light to be revealed, and you will pray about it in order to receive them according to God's will. As we look again at the biblical calendar movement, there is no end to this calendar. We believe that it will be kept unto eternity, according to Isaiah chapter 66, when from one new moon to another and from one Sabbath to another, we will come to worship the Lord in the New Jerusalem. So we have to be prepared. So we're practicing now the true biblical calendar restoration, the unimpeachable calendar. We would like to show you another section that we have not seen yet, and it's joining us in this movement. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt raise up the foundation of many generations, and thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. And if you know Isaiah 58, verse 12, the next verse will tell you that it unites the Sabbath with that movement, the true creation Sabbath, which is the same calendar identical to Leviticus 23, where the first three verses mention the 7-day Sabbath and then the monthly Sabbath after that, the monthly feast. So when we look at these things, we know that this is serious. Upon this battle, we are now entering, and it says here, the last great conflict between truth and error is but the final struggle of the long-standing controversy concerning the law of God. Upon this battle, we are now entering a battle between the laws of man and the precepts of Jehovah, between the religion of the Bible and the religion of fable and tradition. And in this Join Us page, we would like to invite you to read it for yourself. Who we are, join us, and we're inviting you to join us by communicating with us with the email that we have given you in these pages, biblicalcalendarmovement@gmail.com. And what we would like to see is participating in our symposium, conference calls, workshop, seminars. This is real action. We have already done it for many years now, studying and teaching the sanctuary calendar, the biblical calendar, the creation calendar, which are all one. But now we're expanding more and more throughout the world. And we would like you to come together with us and study these things because, again, we often repeat it, but this is what we believe. All this evidence needs to be re-examined in the light of the Great Day of Atonement computation of October 22nd, 1844. For it is so bold, so utterly non-conventional, so potentially upsetting, radically altering the central aspects of the biblical, astronomical, chronological, historical, cultural, economic, and politic understanding of most people, it should not be ignored. We intend, through this calendar restoration, to begin a most interesting debate and critical discussion of all relevant issues, for the last great conflict may have just begun. Again, we would like to remind you of our library, where you can find many, many researches. One of them, beside the 2020-2030 calendar, is what you find in the section here that we wanted to attract your attention to. It's called the section 1026 Decrees, New Light Reveals. And this study is actually introduced through the 10-day series here, but there are 26 of them. And you see, as you look into them and visit the library, how many titles that we are covering. And of course, we are not capable of presenting here. We even have the sabbatical years, the Jubilee year from 702 BC to now that we have calculated according to rules of evidence that we have studied. So we do encourage you to study, study, study to be found approved and become a teacher of 144,000 teachers that will present the truth and stand on evidence to do so. Make sure to join us in day number 5 of this Last Great Conflict Worship Time series, and may the Creator be merciful unto you and bless you and cause his face to shine upon you and give you peace always.